Yeah, it's a live studio, and of course, we are here to talk about issues that affects you and I. On this discussion segment, is all about the call to profile terrorist financiers, people that give money to support terrorism in Nigeria. And it's a known fact that some names have been mentioned, but Nigerians are still waiting for the action of the federal government. Yeah, let's see what they will do. And the names, they refuse to bring them out. They are saying they are still working on it. But what does this have to, do in the fight against insurgency, in the fight against terrorism? Is it another ploy to give the administration a plus, or another ploy to give detractors or perceived opposers a minus? Or is it what it truly stands for, in the sense that Nigeria needs to put to an end this incessant attacks from the north, south, east, and west? When you talk about terrorist attacks, banditry, kidnapping, you just name it. With me here in the studio is a legal practitioner, a human rights activist, political analyst. Join me to welcome Barrister Cosmos Irabo. Barrister, welcome to TMI Sunday's edition.
Good morning, viewers.
Appreciate your coming.
It's a pleasure seeing you also.
All right. And so very close to him, he is a human rights activist, a political analyst, and he is also a member of New Nigerian Initiative. Join me to welcome Wadai Odigye. Welcome to TMI. Appreciate your coming. All right. I want to start off with you, Barrister Cosmos Irabo. People have been talking, you hear the case of Pantami. Some are for him being tried. Others are like, look, let's bygone be bygone. He has repented. And when you went to the Senate, according to the papers, their hands are tied. And now here we are with a new information saying that the names of persons in Nigeria, and there are specific, highly placed individuals which are backing terrorism financially, they'll soon be named. And of course, actions will be taken against them. This is a comment from the presidency. How do you view this?
Well, unfortunately, I wouldn't want to sound pessimistic. We all know what terrorism is all about, so there'll be no need defining terrorism. Excuse me. For terrorism to take place, most of the times you have murder, you have robbery, you have rape, all sorts of things, come together to inflict terror on people. And this is called murder is a capital offense. Rape, some instance, is a capital offense. Robbery is a capital. At the end of the day, you discover that terrorism is not something any sane nation should joke with. But unfortunately, what we have here is offenses are committed. Some people are arrested. Like what a politician said, he said you use deodorant to spray such people. While some are arrested, you use use insecticide. Everything in Nigeria, unfortunately, has been politicized. If somebody is seen financing terrorism, of course we all know it's a grave offense. And such a person should be treated even worse than a terrorist. But unfortunately, you just mentioned the name now. I wouldn't want to go too deep into that. Unfortunately, if you watch the financiers of terrorism, like they call it now, banditry in Nigeria, the first port of call, in my own view, is the Nigerian government. And I will explain.
Why would you say it's the government?
That's what I said.
Because they're fighting it.
He said they are fighting it, so be it. Now, a particular business has been there, not lucrative. Suddenly you see patronage of different people. The person who was riding a bicycle suddenly starts buying jets. What do you think will happen? So many people go into that business. In my own view, the federal government first of all started patronizing these people. if somebody who commits all these offenses I just mentioned can be brought out, you say the person has been de-radicalized, the person he has, repented, and then in some cases you even put the person in the army, you give them money, you even say they should be compensated. And what I think these people are doing, I just mentioned them, including kidnapping. What do you think will happen? People begin to view that business as good business because it brings about, people know you, government know you, and all that. Moreover, the same people in my estimation, in my own view, you also used to orchestrate a fake kidnap. And at the end of the day, so much money was given to them. In my view, that's my personal opinion. It might be right, it might be wrong. Then, even if it was fake, money was given to them. Some people would come and do the real. That's why I discovered that initially, some people would just kidnap. 2 weeks later, the victims have been recovered. People are praising the government. Another one, a week later, record, praising the government. But now that the real one, which is an outshot of that fake one, is happening, what are we seeing? They are killing their victims.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, apart from government, you have politicians. And you don't blame some of these politicians. It's just where you are in a place where Boko Haram has hoisted their flag. If you don't play to the gallery, they'll kill you. So they had to. Another aspect of it is when you go to international, like Al-Qaeda, like we heard, and all that. So, like we are saying it here, it's not the way it is there.
Okay.
I've spent years there.
All right.
There, if you don't play to the gallery, your life is at stake. Based on the way the federal government had pampered it. Let me just say this. If people were given the responsibility to fight these insurgents, and I learned how many trillions of naira was spent on it, at the end of the day, these people, in my view, failed woefully, shamefully. These same people, for failing, were compensated. Haven't been pleaded with, please, you just leave, so that the people are talking much. Even when their time of retirement is over, they compensated them with ministerial appointments. You are also financing insurgents. Because the money these people are getting is from insurgents, and so the insurgents must not stop.
Okay, fine. You just hold on. I will come back to you. You took it from your own angle, saying that one way or the other, unknowingly or knowingly, your own opinion, saying that the actions of the government in fight against terrorism is somehow making them to be bold.
It's not fight against the insurgents.
I will come back.
Fighting it.
I will come back to you. Honorable Odige, what do you have to say about this?
Well, the answer is not far-fetched. I'm going to cite an example of a group of Android books. They go on daily rigs and they become successful. At the end of their rigs, they have their native daughter that walks behind the background for them. They also have somebody that cooks for them. And they also have another person that oiled their guns. At the end of the day, they are caught. Will the government not arrest everybody? And they will all be as guilty, both the native doctor and the armed robber that goes on the daily operations. They are all considered as armed robbers. So I'm going to extrapolate this analogy to the terrorism in Nigeria. Before now, Jonathan once cried out that Boko Haram has infiltrated his government. Granted that there was a conspiracy. And when the federal government decided to negotiate with Boko Haram, who did they appoint to negotiate on their behalf? Buhari, the president of Nigeria, or rather who became the president of Nigeria. why did they appoint me? Or why did they select Wole Soyinka or Joe Wilson amongst them? But they pick a member, their own member. So invariably by association, Buhari is a Boko Haram.
No, hold on. This is where
my
this even hold on.
Let me go ahead.
Even if it's your own personal opinion, it doesn't hold water because you are not there.
It doesn't hold water.
It doesn't hold water because right now it's not about fighting terrorism. It's not part of that. So please let me guarded. Let me guarded.
I was invited here to come and speak the truth that I know. Now, here is the man who became the president of Nigeria. I'm trying to explain the conspiracy theory here. When Miyetti Allah and the cattle herdsmen started these atrocities, killing, raping, they now call it army banditry. What happened? The federal government turned its blind eyes. Till today, no single Fulani man has been arrested. No single terrorist, no single herdsman has been apprehended. I'm coming, my brother.
Hold on now.
Yes,
hold on.
Coming.
Look, you are on air. And I wouldn't want you to ascribe terrorism to a particular tribe.
Okay.
And I wouldn't want you to ascribe terrorism to the presidency.
Okay,
Please
good.
be guarded.
Good. Now, we were told by association again, the Miyetti Allah that is regarded as the most dangerous or the third dangerous terrorist group in the world has
By who?
patron.
Nobody said that terrorist group for crying out loud.
I'm coming, my brother.
Hold on now.
By Nigerian standard, no, they are not terrorists.
Hold on.
I'm coming.
Hold on.
coming.
Now listen.
I'm
Now,
coming.
in your extrapolation,
Yeah.
because you said theories. These are theories. We are not here to explain theories.
Good.
Because theories can be disproved, and
Okay.
you know that. So please let us
But
focus
so
on
far-
that.
so
Miyetti
far-
Allah, according to Nigerian persons, they are in charge of their cattle business.
That's
so
good.
please, and
Good.
right
I'm
now,
coming.
since their member is not here or are not here to defend themselves,
Then
let's
invite
not
them.
shape that.
Why don't you invite them? And
I
let
will
us
do that.
discuss,
I will do
please?
that. But for now, they are not here. Please,
Promise me
let's
that
drop
you will
it.
bring them
I will.
next week so that we will
Definitely,
discuss.
I will. But for since they are not here,
Good.
let's please move on.
Since they are not here,
Yeah.
then at the end of the day, what do we have? The government turned or is turning their blind eyes toward the atrocities of these herdsmen. They have never been arrested. Who is actually now financing these people? Gumi, Alaji or Mohammed Gumi, the so-called, that called himself the negotiator between the herdsmen and the federal government, called upon the federal government to instruct central bank to open its vault and pay compensation to the herdsmen.
Not herdsmen. These are bandits.
Bandits and herdsmen, they are the same.
You are mixing these up.
Bandits, herdsmen. You see,
Let's ascribe names to where names are appropriate, please. These are bandits.
They call it. Okay, let me start an example now. They said herdsmen and the villagers are a crisis, or rather the community, classics in the north. You can only have a community clash when you have two communities sharing boundaries. The herdsmen doesn't have any community in Edo State. They come and kill our people. They come and destroy our farms. You still call it, a community.
These are bandits. These are bandits. Let's be clear.
Now, it is a war that they fashioned. You understand? It is a recent war that they just fashioned. They are not banditry. They are herdsmen terrorists.
I'll come back to you.
I'm not done yet.
I know.
But
No, you just hold on. I will come back to you. I want to give you time to calm down because I can sense so much emotions right now in you. And if not controlled, you may say one or two things that may not be according to rules and regulations governing the airwaves. But please, I will come back to you, please. Barrister Cosmos. We've seen some persons, like you rightly mentioned, negotiating between the federal government and, of course, these bandits, these kidnappers. And we see this person also giving instructions, open your votes. Yes, he said it. Do something now or else something may happen until those children were released. In this case, if the list is to really be organized, don't you think this said character should be on that list? Is a question.
Well, I want to be a little logical with regards to this question. If I want to start bringing the Gumi into it, that Gumi should be arrested, it's like setting the cat ahead of the dog, ahead of the horse. Somebody failed somewhere before this person came out. If the government, federal government, had played their role very well, Gumi will not have the opportunity to come and speak. Because if you look at it, the major function of government is to secure lives and properties. If it now becomes a situation where our lives are being destroyed, properties are being destroyed, then anything can happen. Schools have been attacked for years. Even one led the propaganda that was used to remove President Jonathan from office was still this attack on school, Chibok girls. If you use that propaganda and you say you have brought change, it therefore means that something should not happen again. You have changed it. But if that thing now becomes something that's now become a recurrent decimal, it means that excuse me, there's something behind it. It's either you refuse to do what you promised the people, or you are even the person behind that thing you used to remove the other person. You use as a horse to remove the other person. Gumi, to me, has not done anything wrong. He advised, and the advice is subject to the acceptance of who he is advising. Gumi cannot go to the central bank to remove money, except Gumi is speaking the voice of collective people. And they just say, you come and be the mouthpiece, which means there's a grand plan. But since that has not been proven, I will say there's nothing wrong with what Gumi is saying. Because if the government had not failed in its primary responsibility to the people, Gumi will not say that. You couldn't have expected such person to come and say such, with due respect to him, trash when late Abacha was in power. Because Abacha said something, he said if insurgents last for more than 24 hours, the government is involved. You say no matter the character of a man, there must be some good parts of that person. Gumi felt, as far as I feel, that life is sacrosanct, life is more important than anything. Do whatever you can do to save the lives. There's a saying that war went fall like goats climb back. You understand? It's either the government have failed, I mean the government has a role in it, telling him you say this so that we can do this, which is a grand plan, or he's acting on the fact that the government has failed. So whichever way you look at it, his statements are suggestive statements.
All right, I'll come back to you. Honorable, people like saying that with this on the ground, talking about profiling these financiers of terrorist groups in Nigeria, it may be another ploy to witch hunt perceived opponent. What do you feel about that assertion?
Which opponents? Are you saying political opponents?
It could be political, it could be regional, it could be anything.
The Minister of Communication, part-time, is not in opposition. He's part of the government. Before he became a minister, DSX and the Economic Financial Unit did a profile on him, and they gave him a clean bill of health. That was why he was appointed. So invariably, the government was aware before he was appointed a minister. And he, according to information, he has sympathy for ISIS. He has sympathy, for Boko Haram. The man did not deny. All we heard was that was when he was younger.
That he has repented.
That he has repented. It can only happen in Nigeria. It's only in Nigeria that he has repented. So there are millions or hundreds of suspects in this government.
I don't think you're exaggerating millions of hundreds. That's
Yeah.
exaggeration. You
You
are exaggerating. So please let's not exaggerate.
Okay.
All right.
What I'm trying to say is that there are many of them, suspects, parading as government officials. They're in corridors of power. The government or the president or presidency is aware, and they are holding forth for them.
They're not holding forth for them because right now they want to bring out their names.
Normally, listen. About a month plus ago, the president made an announcement that if you are caught with AK-47, shoot outside. The following day or 2 days later, the head of the army, you understand, made another contradictory statement that they should not shoot. So what I have problem with is that the deep state that is controlling this present government, as Jonathan rightly said, you have majority of them, the terrorists and the Boko Haram, inside the presidency. There was a governor that once said that the terrorists, they have right to own AK-47. It was this same government, prior to that time, asked us, you and I, to turn in our day guns. They started mopping our day guns while they were protecting the other ethnic groups, the so-called firstborn ethnic groups in Nigeria. There's a double standard.
Okay.
Look,
There's a double standard.
See, if we don't approach, I am surprised that in the South we are still talking about insecurity. We are still talking about coming together as one. It is apparent that a certain ethnic group in Nigeria has a mission, and their mindset is that they are born to rule to their graves. It is their mindset that Nigeria is a conquered territory. It is their mindset that they are more superior than we the Negroes. We call them the Negroes, the so-called from the Arab nation who came here before the Europeans.
Right.
Now, what they are doing is that what they started in the north 200 years ago, the jihadi movement is now spreading in the south. Where do we now stand?
Okay.
The south, I'm not done, my brother. Please just give me 1 minute.
Please anchor because we have other analysts. So please anchor.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
right.
I'll be quick.
All right.
The southeast, they have moved a step ahead of us by advocating for 6th section. The southwest, they have taken a cue from the southeast. Though most of the southeastern governors, you know who they are. They are the ones that even prescribe IPOP, because they don't get their things right. Now, where does the south stand? Okay. That is why we are now.
Okay.
See, the next line of action is that we also want and we will achieve to form our own in the public.
Anyway, the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable. We are one.
That's what we tell you.
Nobody's talking about secession right now. You gave an example.
What's Biafra for? What's Oduduwa for?
Anyway, nobody's talking about it right now because we are one indivisible entity. I will come back to you, Honorable Odige. You've heard him. I'm going to ask you the same question. What format do you think this tracking will be? What form will it take? Because he said some members allegedly are in the government, are in the presidency. He gave an example of a repentance. Yes, he has repented already. That's why he's in the presidency. So people are like saying these top persons that they are talking about, some, not all of them, maybe, just maybe, they're everywhere. Presidency, military, the force, you just name it.
Well, you know, unfortunately in Nigeria, when it has to do with religion, people lose their sense of reasoning, you know. Just like Karma said, he said religion is the opium
of the masses.
People, of the masses, of the people. A particular terrorist group came, they patched the activities with religion, and even some, you know, people up there who are expected to have known better, killed up. So it is not news to know that so many people who are high up there in a particular area, particular group, are all full-time members of Boko Haram. They sponsor, they give information and everything, like the Patani and Co. So you see,
hold on now, take Patani out of course because he said he has repented. Let's take it as
that.
He has repented.
Listen, you can't. You see, if you say he has repented, if you go to prison, you have more than 90% of those in prison, and they have repented. What are they still doing in prison? It's only in Nigeria we see clear-cut double standard, clear-cut, and they do it without shame. Somebody commits a grievous offense, you pat the person, you give him money, and you come out and say the person repented. Do you have the locals to say that? If there's anybody that can say it's a judge, but you just come, you have not tried nothing, and you said they have repented, that's a slap to judiciary. Like I did say, somebody commits armed robbery, commits murder, rape and all, and you said the person has repented, and I saw the person should go, you give the person money. It is regrettable. I don't know if this thing can happen in any part of the world. In any part of the world. But there are still some of them there who are coerced into supporting them. Like I did say, if I'm in a community and a group of boys take over the community, I look around, I cannot do otherwise. My life is at stake. I'll pretend to, you know, to follow suit. But the root cause of it is we have a system that has chosen, unfortunately, criminality as its first level. And as such, everything follows. These people are there. There's no game trying to pretend. They are there. They are supporters and all. That was the same thing that was used to topple the last administration. So if you give them power, of course they will follow suit. So it is there. You don't need to even paint it at all.
Okay, so now how do we go about this? Because right now they are out saying, look, names were mentioned, and from what they said, highly placed individuals, they are involved, and we're going to mention their names, and we're going to deal with them. That is the promise of the presidency. They are set for action. Don't you think they should be applauded for all this?
You see, we should give them retrogressive applause.
How? Retrogressive how? Because right now they came out on national TV. We are going to do this. Nobody is stopping us.
Listen, this administration has been on for how many years now? You see, it is common sense. It takes, with due respect, an imbecile to accept hook, line, and sinker everything that this administration says. You get what I'm saying? I will be very, you see, I will laugh if names are mentioned. For me, any name that is mentioned is a name that has stepped on the toes of one of them. That's my opinion.
Your opinion?
Yes.
What about you?
It's my opinion. Because if you look at all these years, where were they?
Okay. And that is the last line on this discussion. We will have other segments in the discussion, please. Your own view. What the names are mentioned. Don't you think we should give me a round of applause for doing it?
It's all gimmick.
For taking the bull by the horn.
It's all
gimmick.
It's all gimmick. You know, the federal government is part of the master plan.
Here you go again. This your conspiracy theory will take us nowhere.
Part of the master.
They are not part of it, please.
Has the presidency ever condemned the headsmen?
Of course they have. They condemn the killers' headsmen.
When and where?
They've done that already.
When and where?
And now they are trying to provide solutions.
Just tell me when and
So
where.
please, just sum up, please.
When and where, please.
Sum up, please.
So since the federal government, my own personal opinion, this whole exercise on the part of the so-called, it is a script that was written 200 years ago.
Conspiracy theory again.
That with Madame Fodio to the Fulani.
All right, thank you.
Nigeria.
Thank you so much.
Crime
thank you so
that
much.
They are killing and raping.
Thank you. It's okay. Thank you so much, because it's not good for us to ascribe all this to a particular tribe of one severally, please. But I really want to appreciate you for your wonderful analysis. The opinions totally theirs. It has nothing to do with ITV. Despite that, we have to make sure the rules and regulations governing the airwaves. Let's see what our second guests will have to say about all this and some other issues bothering the country. Gentlemen, once more, appreciate both of you. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.